somebody to let them know.
Yeah.
So how do I know when the people are here?
I can see them.
All right. Huh? So is there interaction? Like I can like they if they write, I can write back. I mean, I can answer questions. So or am I just like how do I know?
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I'm getting everything together right now. Having a couple of technical difficulties, but I think there are a couple of people on here, but I'm getting ready to get started. So bear with me. This is my first time doing this.
You see the people that's on it?
No, but I'm pretty sure they can hear you.
Yeah. This comments gonna ring.
So how am I supposed to like? Is there any way I can put that up here so I can kind of know what's going on? Oops. Here, I'll just take that water. What are you doing now?
Just pulling up on the people's business.
But I just want to see a question so I can. Nope, I'm good. Hey guys, so I think everything's working correctly now. So I'm just going to get started. First, I'm Deshawn Chancey. I'm the owner of Darris I Have Hair, Derek Hair, and then Royal Vanity Salon. In case you guys want to know, I just turned 35. I'm married. I have 4 children. And basically, I started my business in 2011. I was working at a bank for about 8 years, and then they fired me. So I transitioned from that onto unemployment. And basically, I rode that till the wheels fell off. And then once that, pretty much, I'm fine. And pretty much once that ran out, I was basically like, what am I going to do? What can I do to bring income into my home? What route do I want to take? Do I want to go back to corporate America? I was basically just trying to figure things out. And I applied to a lot of jobs, but no matter where I would interview or where I would go, it just wasn't working out. So at that time, I had, it was I think it was my first year anniversary or my second year anniversary. And I had just had a baby. And I had bought some hair from someone, but it really wasn't that great quality. And when I was trying to talk to the person about it, the situation pretty much was just dead. It just was nothing. So I started researching for myself because I wanted to know if I did anything wrong or, how can I basically fix what I invested, and it just wasn't working out. So once I did a lot of research, I'm the type of person that, I'm very, inquisitive. If I want to know something, I'm going to research it, figure it out, for myself. I always was like that since I was a child. So I was doing a lot of research and things like that. And I was just speaking hypothetically. And I was like, what if I got into the beauty world since I spend so much money, and hair, like what if I got involved in it? So I was talking to my husband and my mom about it. And they were just like, basically was like, do it. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys. And I was like, I was really nervous and scared. I'm like, well, who would buy from me? Why would I, basically do something like that? Would people support me? I started doubting myself and the things that I could do. So within doing that, I did more research, and then my husband and my mom, gave me $300. And with that $300, I started, oh my God, everything is going off. I started my own company, and the $300 that I first initially got, I used that to basically test out the product. So I got the $300 and I tested out the product, and from there, I seen that the product was fine. So then after that, I got more money, and then I invested in it, and I brought product, and basically I was already kind of promoting myself on Instagram. At that time, it was my personal Instagram, and I was surprised at the fact that people were actually, starting to purchase the product, which kind of really overwhelmed me. So then the next step was my husband and a couple of his friends from college was like, I need to get a website. So we started working on a website, and doing that, I kind of got fearful again because I'm more of a perfectionist, and I felt like nothing wasn't good enough. And I basically was letting the opinions that I felt like other people had about me that knew me get into my head. Like, why would they want to support me? Why would they buy from me? What makes me different from anyone else or whatever like that. So I kind of was discouraging myself in regards to, if I should move forward or not. You guys can't see me? All right, 1 minute. I'll close the curtains. Is that better, guys?
Actually, you know what it is? I think it's just plastic.
On the screen?
Wait, no, I think it's better.
I think it's better. All right. Now I forget where I was at. You don't know. Huh? Oh, so I started discouraging myself and letting what I thought other people would say about me, talk me out of doing what I wanted to do. So okay, thank you. So then the guy started working on a website, and I would pick things like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I think this is wrong, I think that is wrong. So initially the website got completed, but I still wasn't satisfied with it. And it really was just based on just me, myself. Like, I was just afraid to move that further forward. But before I even go there, I was really amazed that with the little bit of promoting that I was doing, like, people were literally calling me, or, I had an email, of course, emailing me and DMing me and purchasing the product, like literally putting money in my hand, like before I had a website. And that literally blew me away. And I was just like, God, that's amazing that people would put that much trust in me. And these were, of course, mostly, some of them were people I knew, but a lot of people that I didn't know that were referred to me by people. But it really amazed me that people trusted me enough that they would invest in me and my business. And, that just blew my mind. So within that, I already started making money. So when I started making money, I got wise about it. So everything that I made, I didn't put it back in my business. I didn't put it back. I didn't put it into my home or me personally. I put it back into the business. So if I sold hair, like whatever I made off of it, say if I made $800 that week, I didn't put that $800, into shoes or to an electric bill or to anything for my kids. I put it right back into the business so that I can make sure that I had what I needed in case someone called me or, needed whatever. So everything was going pretty well. And, the website was finished. So once the website was finished, the guy who did the website released the website. And he didn't tell me that he released the website. So I was upset about that. And it was crazy because I got like 5 orders, but I was just so upset that he released the website. So I was really upset that he had, released the website because, again, I was afraid of, what people thought about me or whatever like that. So within doing that, things started moving really progressive for me, and it started getting kind of overwhelming. So I gotta end up getting a complaint, like someone not liking the product. And that literally threw me off because at first, this is my first time running a business. This is my first time doing something like this outside of a corporation. Basically, everything is on me. It's different when you work for a corporation, if someone call in and they don't like something, you kind of just do what you're told to do and handle the situation, whatever. And you go home, you don't really think about it unless that person pissed you off, but it's still like, whatever. But when it's your company, everything is on you, it's a totally different feeling. So once that person complained, I took it personal instead of taking it, as business. I took it personal. So that really, really bothered me. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't deal with this. Like, how am I supposed to fix this? Whatever. So I went back to what I learned from being in corporate America, and I applied that to that situation. So whatever they didn't like, I corrected it, and I went over and beyond to make sure that it was right for them, so they would be pleased. And in doing that, I did it more so for personal reasons instead of for business reasons. So I kind of was right and wrong. Believe it or not, I kind of was right or wrong, because when you're operating as a business, you have to look at things as a business and a corporation, and you can't take it personal, because once you take it personal, you're not going to be able to see things corporately as you're supposed to see it. You're going to be looking at it as more so, why is this person attacking me, or why is this person not liking me, when it has nothing to do with you. It's just them as a person and they're not satisfied. So within that situation, I learned something, but I still didn't learn because I still was operating in my business personal. It didn't take me until I probably was like 2 years into my business that I finally made a mental adjustment that this is wrong. I can't operate out of personal. It has to switch over to business. So let me get on track, because I don't want to get out of track because I have so much going on. So right now I'm transitioning. I'm leaving corporate America. I'm starting my own business. And if there's any questions that you feel like guys that I'm not answering, like, please let me know, because I want to help you guys the best way I can. So at this point, I'm leaving corporate America. I'm done unemployment. I started my company. The first payment that I got from my husband and my mom was invested in a product, me trying it out for myself. So I used that $300 to buy the product to try it out. So everything was fine. So once I started moving more hair, I initially thought of more weight. Once I started moving more hair, that's when things got kind of complicated, because I was operating out of the personal, and instead of me taking a step back and looking at it as a corporation, like, okay, what is this that could be wrong? Maybe my product isn't right. Maybe I need to do some more extensive research or things like that. Instead, I was just trying to fix it like, a friend would fix a problem, or how you would fix something in a relationship. And I was going about it the wrong way. So then I got another complaint. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? So initially, the first thing that popped in my head is I don't want to be like the person that got over on me. So then I had to take a step back, because then I had to examine the product that I had. And if 2 people complained about it and they weren't satisfied with it, then maybe something isn't right. So basically, I was back to the drawing board. So I shut everything down until I could figure out exactly what was going on. So then I did more extensive research, more extensive travel to figure out what type of product that I can offer that would be better suitable for my customers, that they would be more happy with, that they wouldn't have any type of complaints with. And I got myself out of my emotions, like, I can't give up, I can't stop, if this is something that I want to do, I might as well keep on doing it. Like, I can't just let one little hiccup stop me. So once I got over that and I was smooth selling, I got a product that I absolutely love that I still have to this day, which is amazing. I moved forward. So all the people that did complain, I replaced all their product. Once I got better product that I could trust, I replaced all their product, and I was able to move forward. So now I'm getting more orders on a website, and more things going on. And at this time, it was only me doing everything. So I'm answering the phones. I'm making sure things are packaged out. I'm making sure that, the inventory is in order. Whatever it is that needs to be done, I'm doing it all by myself. I'm wearing all the hats. So after a while, it started getting very, very overwhelming, because things were moving really, really fast. It was pretty amazing. So with my engagement on social media, that started moving fast. I ended up starting dealing with celebrities. That started moving fast. So that started bringing in more customers. So things got really, really amazing. How did I resolve the issues was I basically replaced what they were complaining about. Without thinking about it, I replaced it. So whatever it was that they were complaining about, I I replaced the product and I moved forward, and they loved it and they was happy. So in doing that, they came back as a customer again. But I still had things going on within myself because I was still operating out of personal at this point. So I still wasn't really operating the way that I should have been because I'm still in personal, because I still couldn't let go that I made a mistake. I basically had business guilt over myself, which is not really a good thing. So as far as marketing, I just kept really posting and engaging really well with the people that were connected to me. I was never really big on followers or likes and things like that. But the people that I did have contact with, I took it personal. So I engaged really well with them. And with me engaging really well with them, that opened up doors for them to refer more people to me and things of that sort. One thing I can tell you about business is what worked as far as marketing 5 or 6 years ago doesn't work as marketing today. If you're a person that is afraid of change, then being an entrepreneur might not be something that's really good for you, because entrepreneurship changes every day. So something that could have worked for me yesterday or something that I could have done yesterday, today might not be as effective or might not work. So entrepreneurship is forever, ever changing, literally every second, every minute, marketing and everything. So you always got to stay abreast of what's going on and how you can engage in. And I can also tell you this, like, people might take it personally, but I don't really follow or like put myself after anyone that does the same thing that I do. Because, and here's the reason why, because I don't want to get sidetracked. Because even if it's, something small, if I'm looking at what you're doing, that might get involved in what I want to do. And my customer base is totally different from your customer base or from whatever it is that you want to do. So you can't base off of how somebody, because if you're watching someone else and you're thinking like, oh, they're doing this, maybe I should try that. But if your whole market is different, it's not going to work. You really need to find out who your market is and who your customer is. Once you get to know who your customer is and who your market is, then you will know how to market to them. But you first need to figure out who your customer base is and who your market is. Because if you don't know that, you're going to be all over the place. So within doing that, I had to get to know who my market was and who my customer was. And then doing that, I knew how to market to them appropriately, as far as what would work for them, what would engage them, and what they would like. So as far as everybody's like, how did you flip $300? I'm sorry, but someone just asked this question, so I'm all over the place. Everyone's always asking, how do I initially flip $300 into $370K? Really, that's really not really a no-brainer, because you can flip anything. Like, you might have something in your closet right now that you don't wear anymore or that you don't like anymore, but somebody else might need it really, really bad, and they might want it. So they're going to pay what they need to pay for that, and you can market it and set the price on it how you want it to work. So I never used what I was making from my business for my home until I got it to a point where I was making a certain percentage over where I could pay for my home. And a lot of people can't do what I do, because when I really first started doing my business, it put me behind on my bills, because remember, I was unemployed and not working. So initially when I first started, I was behind on things, but I had a good relationship, because at that time I was renting. I had a good relationship with my landlord because God gave me favor. So I worked something out with them. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody is different. So I worked something out with them. So I really didn't have to pay them in full my rent at that time, because I couldn't afford it. So I took advantage of that whole situation. So everything that I made for my business, I put back in my business until I was able to afford to pay myself. So whatever I made, I put it back into my business. So if I got customers and they bought something, whatever I made off of that, I constantly put it back into my business. So I constantly kept flipping it and flipping it and flipping it and flipping it. And you just keep flipping it till you make more. It's the same thing if you take $1 and you go to the corner store and you buy penny cent candy and you buy 100 pieces, but then you take that penny cent candy and then you go sell it for 15 cents. You're going to make a profit off of that. You're going to make $14, right? It's going to be like a $14 profit. It's going to be like a $14 profit off of that. So basically, that's the same thing you're doing with your business. You have to, first of all, find out who your market is, find out what you want to set your prices as, what you make from that, you put it aside, and then you keep flipping that money until you make more money. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not really that hard. Here's the problem with most people. You make the money and then you go spend the money, so then you don't have nothing else to flip after that. But if you just learn to just put up what you have and then constantly keep investing that money into a bigger investment, it's going to make money for you. And I'm still doing the same thing to this day. So it honestly does work, but you have to be able to not spend what you make. And if you're able to do that, you can literally flip anything. If you sell clothes, and honestly, a lot of times people that are in the food business really, really make money because they're going out and they're buying it, but they're basically, you're paying for a service. So they're able to flip that. I was doing this the other day because I was at a restaurant and it was a privately owned restaurant because I'm like that. So now that I'm business minded, I look at everything business. So it's a new restaurant that just opened up where I live at. And they're selling, like these dinners or, whatever you order, they're selling it for like $25. But if they're buying that chicken in bulk, like, do you know how much money they're making? I was like sitting there adding it up, even like with a daycare, like they make so much money because they're able to set their profit margin as so much, and they're really not really paying for a product because the people are paying them for a service. So it's really about what type of business you want to get into. So, there's ways to make money and there's ways to flip money. You just have to be smart about it, and then you also have to save it. But the issue that we have now is everybody wants to keep up with everybody else because they want to base their situation or their life off of social media and what somebody else have. So they think that somebody has this, so they feel like, okay, I need to go get that to look like I'm successful. Well, let me tell you something. And most people that are successful don't look successful at all. Throughout my business journey, I have had dinner with billionaires. I have had dinners with millionaires. I have sat with them. Their home didn't even look like they were a billionaire. And these people were billionaires. And I went with them and I was amazed. Their home didn't even look like they were a billionaire because they're not obsessed like Americans are with having all the gaudiness and all the whatever. Like, they have on just like a plain t-shirt or whatever, and they're walking down the street every day. You wouldn't even realize. And I take heed of that. And I thank God for that. So when I'm able to sit down with people that are really, really making money, and you really see the whole big picture and you get to have a conversation with them, it changes your concept and your reflection of everything. But if you're just sitting at home and you're on Instagram and you're basing what you want to do based off of what someone else is telling you that they're doing that's successful, that's not really doing it, it's going to really mess you up. It's going to really mess you up because you're going to constantly keep chasing after cheese that you never really can obtain. So really, honestly, with a business, you need to figure out what it is that's in your heart that you want to do. You have to get disciplined and save the money that you're making off of your profit to put in to make more money. And then you have to change your whole mindset of thinking. And these are the things that I had to do. And within a process, I failed at a lot of them and I learned. Like I said, when I first started my business, I was more so looking at everything personal. I had to change that because it was stressing me out tremendously and it was roadblocking me from moving to the next level because I wasn't thinking how I was supposed to think. So once I got that and I talked to people that were in a higher level of business within me than me, then I got that. And some of them situations or conversations I had to pay for. Like I had to pay to sit in certain people's presence to learn certain things, but I was willing to do that because I wanted to know how things work. And I still do that to this day. Like if you want to be a corporation, you got to learn how the corporation work. And these people that are running corporations, they're not thinking on things on personal level or even how we're thinking. They don't even run their own Instagram accounts. So they don't even know who said what or why or, what's going on or this negative comment that this person wrote. Like they're not even worried about that at all. So you really got to change your perception and your thinking behind things if you really, really want to run a business. And you can't really see things how other people see them, even the people that work for you. Now I'm at a level where my stress is totally different and the things that I have going on are totally different. So now I have employees. I have people that are working for me. And that could be a task within itself. But I can't base my goal and where I want to go and my vision off of how an employee feels or what they think is right or how they feel. Because at the end of the day, they're expendable for one, and for two, this is really not their dream, it's my dream. So you got to think clear on. And then there's going to be some people that are just not going to be here permanently with you throughout your whole journey, and you have to adjust to that. So that's exactly why you can't think personal. You got to think business, and that's exactly why you can't do business with certain people who are connected to you, because it's really not going to work out. So when you're doing that and you get into a certain level, you have to adjust your thinking to a whole nother level now, because you have to always remember why you're doing it, why you started, and where do you want to go. And you can't worry about how somebody else feel, or if somebody else leave, or if somebody else don't want to work with you. So that's why you really have to train your mindset as well as when you're doing business. I'm sorry, guys, I'm looking at my notes. And again, if you have any questions like this, you want to ask me directly, please ask me. But as far as the obstacles that I had to face with starting my business is, I would say, like, for one, we already discussed it. I had to learn to stop operating personally. Two, I had to find a good product. That's like a major key, a major key. I had to find a good product that I could rely on. And then also, I had to learn to separate my personal life from my business life. A big obstacle that could have shut me down was 2 years ago when my brother was killed, because he was killed in like a high volume season of my business, and I wasn't able to take any time off because I have an obligation to my customers, and I always try to put my customers first. I actually do. So within that, I couldn't not like take a break or be like, hey guys, I can't ship your orders because, I'm sad or I'm depressed or whatever I'm going through right now, or, whatever. So I had to do what I had to do to get through that. And that taught me a lot. And even though I had people working for me, there's still a lot that I am involved with within my business. So I'm very much hands-on. So, and I didn't feel comfortable leaving and walking away and leaving that load on the people that work for me. So within doing that, I had to learn how to press through and not take what's going on in my personal life within my business life. Because at the end of the day, your customers don't want to hear about what's going on with you. All they want to know is you have something for them and they gave you their money, and when are they going to get it? They don't care if your dog died, your boyfriend left you, your car didn't start this morning, your lights got cut off, whatever the situation might be. They don't care, and they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to care. They're not supposed to care. So you have to learn how to separate that from your business life. Whatever I have going on with my kids or whatever I have going on with my home is my home. But when it comes to Dare to Have Hair, Dare Care, and my other business, Royal Vanity, that's that. I can't take what's going on here and place it in there and expect people to try to understand or care, empathize, or sympathize, or anything. You can't look for anything in return because it's not a personal type of relationship. It's just strictly business. So I had to learn how to separate those two and not integrate them, which I was pretty good at, because I never really wanted to interact with my customers on that level anyway. So within doing that, I had to learn to separate business from personal and not let them interfere with each other. As far as something else I had to learn how to do, I had to learn how to do teamwork, because I started my company by myself and I was used to doing everything by myself. When I did have people that came to work for me and help me, it was hard for me to adjust because I was used to doing things a certain way and I was used to handling things a certain way. So when it came time for me to pass on those different, whatever it was, answering emails, answering phones, packaging, I had to learn the importance of teamwork. I had to learn the importance of trust. And I couldn't let past situations Is this what I'm supposed to click?
Share the screen.
Mhm.
Oh, you're there.
I couldn't let past situations deter me from that, because I learned in so they can't see this. I'll just click on it. All right. Sorry guys, I was trying to show you guys the screen that I was on, but I had to learn the importance of teamwork, and I had to learn like how to delegate things and how to take my hands off of them. Because me doing everything by myself, I had to learn the importance of trust, and I couldn't let like past situations or, you know, relationships or business things that didn't work out interfere with me moving forward with new people. And that itself was in a task. But that was something that I had to learn to do. And the crazy thing is that when I worked at my corporate job for so long, I remember me being so stressed out. I remember me crying at my desk. I remember me, you know, praying, you know, wanting to move up in management and different things of that sort, because I wanted to do something more within where I was working at. And it's crazy because, you know, now that I have my own company, I'm in a position of leadership and I'm in a position of management. And then once I have it, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, like what did I pray and ask for? You know, what did I get myself into? But I definitely had to learn the importance of teamwork and management without ever having any type of, you know, management classes or anything. And I failed at it a lot. I can tell you one time I did a really, really big event. I did a hair beauty explosion, and I lost some of my staff after that because the situation and the event itself was so huge. We had flew in like different celebrities. So I had Black China there. I had celebrity hairstylists there. Paul Mitchell donated some of their students. So it was like a really, really big event, and there was a lot going on. And the idea of it was of course big, but because it was my first event of doing something like this on this caliber, and I was like fully involved monetarily, emotionally, mentally, like I was fully involved, and I really didn't have anyone else to count on. It was like me or nothing. And I was leaning a lot on the people that I was working with, and it was like tremendously stressful, to the point that one of the people that worked for me after that event like left, and I never heard from her again. And that in itself was like really like detrimental to me. Like it really hurt me because I took it personal once again, but not really understanding that, you know, maybe she couldn't handle it, or maybe it was too much for her, or maybe it was overwhelming, because it definitely was overwhelming for me. But I can't quit at this point. Like I can't give up. Like even if I wanted to, and I felt like it, at this point I couldn't. Like it's the ball's already rolling, and I can't really stop it. So when she did that, like that threw me through a whole nother loop. And I was like, you know what, this is crazy. You know, I don't want to work with anybody else. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, it was really emotional to me because I developed not only a business relationship, but a personal relationship with that person. So when they said that, you know, this was too much for them and they didn't want to do it anymore, I took it personal because that's all that I knew. And that's how I was operating my business at this time. So I had to really, really learn from that. And it wasn't personal. I still talk to the person, and I still care about the person, and they still care about me. But my goal and my vision is my goal and my vision. Is not the people that work with me or work for me or around me. So I had to grasp that. So you can't get mad when everybody else don't care or look at your business like you look at it, or feel the way you feel for it. Whether they work for you, whether they're buying from you, or whether they're doing whatever, you can't, you know, operate like that. So within that situation, I just learned, and I learned how to do things better and how to be more organized in a situation like that, so I don't put so much weight on the people that I work with or the people that are working with me. So I had to definitely learn in that situation. And then I had to learn how to eliminate toxic people from around me, because again, once you start operating on a certain realm, everybody is not going to be agreeing to go with you. I had family members that told me, why are you doing this? Like, you're so dumb. Like, why wouldn't you go back to corporate America? You made so much money. Da 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 da. Whatever. Or I had people that are even, close to me or work, some type of a branch connected to me, would say mean and hurtful things or even do conniving things behind my back. Even within that, like, I had to quickly learn from it, bounce back from it, move on and separate myself from them people so that now when I'm around certain people like that, I can identify it faster and I could just quickly move on. So even though these are small things, these are a lot of things that, took me through a loop within my business, like made me want to shut down, dealing with certain people in certain situations like this. So these are a lot of things that I also had to learn from. As far as the money part, I can honestly tell you that the best way to make more money is to keep investing your money back into whatever it is that you're doing. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very stressful, and you're going to feel like you're not doing anything. But once you look back and see like where you started from and where you're at now, you'll definitely see a change. You will definitely see a change. Right now, I have started the Darren Daily Goals, and I just do this for myself personally. I didn't even honestly do this for you guys, but I shared it with you guys, where I am saving up a certain amount of money every day. That's very, very hard for me. Like, that's very hard. That's a lot of money, but I have a goal that I want to buy a house in cash, and I'm going to achieve it. I want to buy a certain house in cash, and I'm going to achieve it. So in order for me to do that, I have to take that money and put it aside every day, no matter what's going on. And every day something's always going on. So no matter what emergency happened, no matter what's needed, what has to happen, I figure out and I make a way. And sometimes that's sacrificing and not getting something for myself or doing something that I might want to do. But I look at it long term, and I'll have my goal, and then I'll be able to make more money, and that I'll put myself in a better position to make more money within doing that, because I'm not just saving my money for anything. I'm actually saving it for another investment, which is a house. So you have to think like that. So whatever I'm doing, I'm always thinking about investment and how it can make me more money long term, or to put me in a better position as well. So basically, that's how I think. It's really not that hard, but it's just a lot of people don't think like that. A lot of people don't move like that, and a lot of people don't do things like that. And you can even start off at it at a young age. Like, I think my son has like $100 right now because he's saving. But if you just start off and you literally save and take what you need, but think about it before you buy it. Like, is this going to just add to me, or is it just going to be something that's going to take from me? Think about that before you're buying anything or before you're doing anything. Think about that. Like, what am I purchasing? Is it going to add to me, or is it just going to be something for me to have? So you have to constantly think like that and make decisions like that when you're operating a business and you want it to grow and to be something more. I actually started my wholesale research. At first, I did start it overseas, and it was horrible. And that's when I had got the really, 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 really bad product. And it put me in a bad place because, like I said, I'm a very inquisitive person. And when you buying stuff overseas, and let's just even put it out there, when you're buying stuff from AliExpress, and you're looking to do an investment on it, first of all, you don't even have good customer service, because 9 times out of the 10, the people don't understand you. You don't understand them. If something goes wrong, they don't fix it, or they don't try to do anything to accommodate you. You're kind of burnt. So that was really the first mistake that I made. And it really put me in a really bad situation because I lost money that I couldn't get back. But I needed to do what I had to do because I needed to save the integrity of my business. So you have to really be careful of who you're purchasing your product from, no matter what type of business that you're in. And you want to be able to have a good relationship with the person that you're getting your product from, to the point, where, first of all, anytime you're doing a business, I look at it like this. That person, if you're doing a business because you're starting a business, that business should be putting you in a position to be a boss. So I end up getting a really good relationship. I end up getting a really good relationship with the person that I was buying wholesale, and they actually put me in a better position for me to be a boss, which was very beneficial. And to be totally honest, they kind of passed the baton on to me to help other people out. And at first, I didn't want to do it because I felt like from all the hurt that I've been through in business and all the things that I've been through, and I had to learn on my own, honestly, I was like, why should I help other people when nobody helped me and no one, was there for me when I fell or when I did whatever? But then I had to look at it. There were people that were there for me. It might have been only like 5, but I had them 5 good people that were worth like 20 people that kept helping me get back up. And of course, I had God. So it don't have to be a lot of people because there's always going to be more people or more things against you than what's for you. And that's where a lot of people get lost at too. Because if the opposition is bigger than what you're trying to achieve, a lot of people give up and stop right there. And you can't. And I've always been a person that's been full of tenacity and always never wanted to give up. And no matter what, if I wanted it, I was going to get it. And I don't care what it took, I was going to get it done. And I'm still like that. It could be a good and bad thing, but I believe that God is cultivating it for me to do better. So within that, the person that I finally found that I was able to invest in to get me better product put me in a position to be a boss, which a lot of people don't do, or a lot of companies don't do when you're getting product from them. So I really thank God for that. So they taught me a lot of things. It wasn't just that I was getting product from them. They actually taught me how to operate the product that I was getting, how to grow the product that I was getting, and how to produce more product, and how to do different business strategies. I actually learned this from that person, and they're still in my life. So within that, again, they will always tell me that I could do this for somebody else. But initially I didn't want to because, again, all the things that I've been through and I encountered, I had a wall up and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that because, again, I didn't have anyone there for me. So when you're doing business and you're getting these products from these different people, no matter what it is that you sell, make sure you have a good relationship with them. See if there's any way that you can connect with them better to develop more from them so that you can better yourself. Because if you're just going to somebody and getting something and then selling something, all you're doing is a circle. That's it. That's all you're doing is a circle. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to keep doing that circle. But if you're actually getting something from somebody and then they're able to cultivate you and help you move to the next level, then you got something going on there. And honestly, this is how a lot of businesses work. If you watch Shark Tank, or if you watch like certain other things, which I don't watch, but my mentor, one of my mentors always tell me she loves it. She's always like, you should watch that. I don't watch it, but I do know that the people that are on there, you can get a good relationship from them if they invest in you, which is worth way more than money to me. Way more than money. Because if you teach me how to fish, then I can make more money than you just giving me a piece of fish and just telling me, here's this one piece of fish, go sell it and come back and get more. But if you actually teach me the game and how to go out about it, then that's how I can become more productive. So when you're out here buying products from people, or when you're out here getting products from wherever you're getting products from, test it out. See if you can get a relationship with them. See if there's something that they can teach you more, because obviously they know more if they're in that position. So what else can you provide to me besides this product that I'm buying from you? Can you tell me what's good about it, what's not good about it? Can you tell me its flaws? Can you tell me its perks? Can we meet? Can we have lunch? Can you sit down and strategize and tell me how you got to where you are so I can get to where I am? Like, these are the kind of, I'm an inquisitive person. So I ask these questions. I've never been the type of person where you're just going to get me. Like, I got to figure out what's going on. What can I get from this? And how is this going to better me? There ain't no one night stand. Like, I need to know what's going on. What's going to happen next? How can I make the situation better? Are you going to marry me? What's going to happen? So the same way For instance, don't be personal, but look at it as a personable investment. Because a lot of people ask me, oh, when do you get copyrighted, or when do you, get legal things done? When you're actually ready to marry that business. So if you're not ready to marry that business, I suggest you really don't invest too much in the paperwork, because I've known people who've gotten certain types of business license and then they shut the business down, but then are obligated still to pay taxes on it. So you got to really make sure you're serious about what you're doing. So when you're having these conversations with people that you're getting products from, or wherever you're getting your donuts from, or wherever you're getting your clothes from, don't just let them take your money. Figure out, how can I be Fashion Nova? If I'm buying wholesale from Fashion Nova and I'm sending you all this money, can I sit down with the owner and have dinner? Because I'm one of his investors. So can he invest back in me and show me how I can take my small business to the next level so that I can be the next Fashion Nova? Because that Fashion Nova is still going to win. Even if you're Gap or Express, people still like options. So when you're giving your money to these different places and you're buying products from them, have a good conversation with them. This is also how you flip that money again. Have a good conversation with them and see what else they can invest in you besides just taking your money and sending you a product and sending you on your way. Because, like, what do you really, really know about that product? Like, when you're going out here and you're buying whatever you're buying from these people, like, what do you really know about it besides they're telling you that it's good or whatever it is, and you're taking it and you're selling it and then you're going back. But, like, what else about it? Like, who's it best for? Like, how did you get to the point where, you are now? Like, how can I have my own factory? You got to start thinking like that. And this is how I think. And that's how I always thought. I never wanted to, even with all the fear and that I had, it was because my vision was so big. And they tell you that if your dream or your vision don't scare you, then, it's not big enough. So that's what really handicapped me and scared me, because the vision that God gave me was so big. I kept on thinking, how can Deshawn Chancey do that? Like, I'm just me. Like, I have flaws and I have kids, and I once was, a single mom. And I know what it's like to fail, and I know what it's like to have to pay an electric bill, and I have the money, and I know what it's like when they're calling me and saying that if I don't pay this, they're going to cut that off. Like, how is it me that you're going to put in a position to be able to do this? So that's what scared me the most, things of that sort. But if God is giving you a vision, go for it and expand on it, and make sure you connect with the right people. No matter how many times you fail and it doesn't work out, make sure you find a right niche that's going to help you grow and not just take your money. If I didn't tell you anything else, take that. Stop giving your money to these places, and then you're buying a product, and then you're right back to square one. Like, how many of you guys experience that? You're going out, you're trying to buy a business, you're buying a product, you're selling it, but you're like, I'm not really getting anywhere. I'm not really doing anything. Like, it's not really working out. Because it's more to that than just that. It's more to running a business than just buying something and reselling it. And whoever you're buying it from, that should come with the package. And that's what I sought after. That's what I sought after. I didn't just seek after somewhere that was going to sell me something and that was it. I sought after the whole big picture. And that's what helped me get to where I am. So, that's pretty much it. And guess you guys have any more questions or concerns? If you guys do want to connect with me or, ask me anything privately, you can. I get a lot of DMs and emails asking, if I personally offer wholesale. My website do offer wholesale, but I'm actually taking it down, the one that's on the current website now, because, again, I don't want to be one of them people that just take something from someone and I can't put them in the position to do what I want to do. So if I do decide to do wholesale, I want to be able to do it on a more personal level where I'm able to mentor people and also help them achieve where they want to get. And again, if that's something that you are interested in, you definitely can email me, and I'll let you know where I am with that. And if you have any other questions that I haven't answered, please ask me. I also had to learn how to take ownership and own up to like my own L's and like my own faults. And I had to have self-awareness of myself. Like, you need to know what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. You need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and you got to own it. If you're not good at, writing, own it. Surround yourself with better writers who can help you, or hire one. So you definitely need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at in running a business, so that you can find whoever is good at that to accommodate you to make your business run. Don't be afraid of criticism or of you not being able to do something right, or a customer saying, oh, you spelled that word wrong or whatever. Like, you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are, what you're capable of, your strong points, and the things that you're not good at. And I'm constantly always, advising myself of those things so that I can better those things and not be put in a situation where I'm confronted with them and I don't know what to do. So you need to be very self-aware of what you can handle and what you can't. That's a good question. Someone asked me, outside of social media, how can I market myself? If you're only marketing yourself right now on social media, you felt right there. Because tomorrow, if Instagram crashed, and this is how I got aware of that. When I first started my business, my followers grew really, really fast because of word of mouth. And I remember one day Instagram was like down. I don't know if anybody remembered. I think Instagram was down for like a whole day or like a long amount of hours, and everybody was freaking out. Like, everybody was going crazy. And within that, I basically was doing my business through Instagram, and I was like, you know what? Something clicked. I was like, I can't just operate my businesses off of social media, because God forbid if social media crash, then what am I going to do? My business is basically just going to be gone, and I'm not going to have no income. I'm not going to have a job no more. So what is it that I need to do? So you definitely need to market yourself outside of social media. If you're only marketing and you're only marketing to with social media, then you're doing it all wrong. You need to find other avenues that you can market yourself out of besides social media, whether you're mailing out pamphlets or, door-to-door service, whatever it is. Like, don't be too prideful that you can't do those type of things, because I have done some things. Like, I have drove, like, I remember one time a customer had got hair from my company, and we had a really, really bad snowstorm, and we weren't able to ship anything. This was about 3 years ago. So the roads had cleared up and we were able to ship, but by the time it got to her, basically she wasn't going to be able to have her engagement. So what I did was I based my anniversary around her. I changed the destination of my anniversary. This is how involved I am with my business. I changed the destination of my vacation so that I can go to her state to hand deliver her purchases, which was very risky for several reasons. It was risky because I could have got shot. She lived in the hood. But I'm from the hood, but still, I wasn't from her hood. It was very risky. I could have got shot. It was very risky because I could have got a charge back because there was no proof of delivery. And it was very risky because I could have gotten in an argument with my husband, like, why are you taking our time to invest in this business? But you know what? I did what I felt in my heart was right. And I just trusted that. And I went off of it. And I told her that she was going to have it. So I did it. So I hand delivered her. I went to where she was at. I changed the destination of my anniversary, and I went to where she was at. I hand delivered her hair. It was awkward, but it was nice because I had to like go in. Like, she wanted me to come in her house, and it was like people in there. And like, if anybody knows me, like, I'm a people person, but I'm really not a people person. So it's really taking me a lot to do this webinar. So like, I'm in her living room. I'm giving her hair, but it was a good experience, and she was very, very happy. She was very satisfied. And at that time, people knew who I was, but not really that much, because I probably only had like 5,000 followers. But it wasn't really about that to me. To me, it was that this person got what they paid for, because I never want anyone to feel like I was stealing or cheating them. So that's what's more important to me. That's why before I do anything wholesale or mentor or anything, I want to be wholeheartedly with it, and I want to have a one-on-one connection. I never want someone to feel like I'm taking from them, because I know what it's like to be took from. So I never want anyone to feel like that. And I always ask God that in those type of situations, never let me forget how I felt when I went through anything. Anything. I remember when I was a single mom. I had 2 kids, and I remember it was put on my heart to give somebody some money, and I gave them that money, and I didn't have anything left to pay my rent. And I remember I was living in an apartment at this time, and again, I was a single mom, so I was curled up on my floor and I was crying because I'm like, God, don't let this happen to me. And it's so minute, because we let these situations overwhelm us. We like think it's the end of the world. Like when we can't pay something or we can't do something, we feel like, oh my God, the world's crashing down. It's going to come to an end. But at this time, this is my first apartment. I was so overwhelmed, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm gonna get kicked out on the street. I'm thinking the worst of the worst. I'm on the floor crying, thinking like how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, God, I was faithful and I helped this person. I gave them what I had, even though that was the last that I had. And I'm on the floor crying. I remember my husband at that time. He wasn't my husband at that time. He was my boyfriend. But I remember he wasn't even my boyfriend. We were like dating. And he called me and he was like, I'm trying to tell him what's going on. He like, you need to read this scripture. You need to read this inspiration. I was like, I don't want to read no damn scripture. I need some money. I remember I was just like going off, and it was crazy. And it was the crazy thing about it is I didn't tell anyone, because sometimes I can be prideful. But my aunt had came to my house a few hours later after I cried and went to sleep, because it was one of those kind of cries. My aunt came to my house a few hours later, and she had bought me a beautiful painting that I still have to this day. And in that painting, she gave me an envelope, and it had $500 in it. And I just started crying, because that's how much my rent was at that time. And I started crying like, oh my God, like, how did you know? And she quoted a scripture to me. So, with going through that, I remember I said, God, don't ever let me not know what it felt like to be in a situation, because I heard God telling me at that time how he was going to put me in a position of finance. And even though it was so hard for me to believe it or understand it, I was like, if you say it, God, then it got to be true. But I still had that piece of doubt in the back of my mind, because what he was telling me didn't look like what I was going through. Because what I was going through, I was broke. I ain't have no money. I could barely pay my rent. I'm taking care of 2 kids, and I'm going to work every day. So I don't even have time to spend with these kids. So I couldn't see it, but I'm like, if you say it to be true, I'm going to believe it. But when my aunt came and gave me that money and that painting, I still had that painting to this day, that increased my faith even the more. And it let me know that when you do something good within your heart and your heart is pure, like, you can't do anything but grow. So another thing that I'm firm on is do what's right even when no one is looking. Do what's right even when no one is looking. So if I'm in a situation where I feel like I can get over or do something, that always pop in my mind, because I never want someone to do that to me. So I always try to keep a good character based on what I'm doing or, what I'm going through. I always try to, make sure that my heart is right within a situation without confusing that with, personal and business, because still you have to be careful. So because there has to be a balance. So with doing that, I always try to make sure that my heart is right when I'm dealing with other people and trying to help other people. So that's why I never just want to rush into anything. So I got so many DMs where people asking me to coach them and help them. And I feel like before I do that, I want to make sure things are right. So I would rather talk to people personal, like email me, and I can, go from there and fill out if it's something that's right for me to do or something that I want to engage in and move into. So that's where I'm at with that, because I know a lot of people asking me about coaching and things like that. So you will know where I'm at mentally and how I feel about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I try to answer like all the DMs that I get. Some of them I can't answer, and then some of them I felt like I'm answering them rhetorically, so I don't answer them because I feel like I already answered that question, or either, I put it out somewhere else. So sometimes that does get a little bit frustrating, but I try to answer all the DMs that I can within a timing that I have. But if you guys are, interested in anything else from me or anything more, please send me an email. And definitely let me know. Again, I'm taking the wholesale program that I have on my website now. I'm definitely taking that down, and I want to try to do something more personal and better. Should we pay for someone to start up or take all our money? So just start up ourselves, website, warehouse, etc. Again, you have to know your strengths and your weakness. Somebody, I don't know if you guys, can they all see each other questions? They can't? All right, well, someone just asked a question if they should pay for someone else to help them start up a company, or should they just do it themselves, like a website, a warehouse, etc. Again, that goes back to self-awareness. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. If you know you're not good at websites, then don't do it. Like, pay that person. I'm also a firm believer in paying people at what they're good at. Like, that's me all the way. So if I'm not good at something, I will hire someone else to do it, because I'm not going to put myself in a situation of messing something up or frustrating myself that I can't do. So if you're not good at websites, find someone that you can trust. Again, everybody I work with, I have a personal relationship with. So find somebody that you can have a personal relationship with that's not just going to throw your website up there and you're not hear from them 6 months later on. Find somebody that can build your website that you can have a personal relationship with, not necessarily personal, but an indulgent business relationship with, that if something goes wrong, you can get a hold of that joker and be like, hey, can you help me fix this out? So I'm a firm believer in paying for what I can't do myself. So if you need help with something, coaching, or if you're not a good selling person and you need help with that, then, ask someone to help you with that. I did sales all my life and I worked in collections all my life. So honestly, I thank God, because I felt like he was preparing me for this. I was kind of already like made to be involved in stuff like this, because I'm not afraid to ask for money. I always was good with talking about products as long as I believed in them. So that was something that I was good at. But I know I'm not good at a website, so then I would pay somebody for a website. As far as a warehouse, if you don't have a warehouse, then start where you're at or try to find an affordable warehouse. But yeah, if you can't do it, find someone that you can trust that can help you do it, and pay them so that they can continually to keep working for you. And it could be, I'm a firm believer in paying the people that work with me so that they will keep wanting to work. Because if not, they're going to be like, deuces. Somebody asked you, what strategies do you have to get someone on social media to post your merchandise? Sometimes you do. Or sometimes if you have something that they like, they'll take that. But sometimes you do, if you don't have that type of relationship with them, if they don't have something. Honestly, again, people, you have to value what somebody else do so you can know how to talk to them. So if they have something that you can benefit from, then you can pay them, or maybe you can offer them something that they need, and it could be kind of like a borrowed system, where you help them and they help you. But if not, don't be afraid to pay people. Like, you're never going to get anywhere with your business if you don't want to pay people or buy things. Like, I had to pay for legal things. I had to, pay for my website. I didn't get none of these things based off of likes. Like, I had to pay. I had to invest. I had to constantly invest back into my business. So don't be afraid to invest in your business if it's going to help you get more money or get to the next level. So certain people I will not pay, and certain times I don't pay people on Instagram because I don't feel like it's always been beneficial, because you can't tell which accounts are real and fake unless you have like a good relationship with them. But also you have to understand their market, because if their market is not your market, then they're not going to buy it anyway, and you might not even get no followers, and you're going to be like, I just gave this person $1,000 for what? So do your research and see what works best for your company, and like if what they have to offer would be fitting with you have to offer. Like, don't just give your money to someone because you think they're popular, because I have made a mistake where I didn't pay this person, but I had somebody that I'm pretty sure you guys know on Instagram. They were wearing my product. I didn't pay them, but I had some type of relationship with them. And then something happened with them that was really, really embarrassing. And thank God, like, I had kind of stopped dealing with them. So I had kind of stopped dealing with them when it happened. Bless their heart. But that could have been really detrimental to my brand, because it was embarrassed. So you have to be careful who you attach to your business and your brand. So don't just go with the flow or what everybody else thinks is popular, because when you do that, again, you got to think of it like a marriage. Like when you're marrying these people and you're getting involved in this, like you're taking on all of them. So if their customer or, you know, rude and like do whatever, then that's what you want to get. So be careful, because again, I was working with the person. I didn't pay them, but we kind of had a relationship where I was giving them products and things like that. And I don't know if they did it on purpose or nothing, but something leaked really bad about them, and it could have really affected me. It could be how you, I mean, I can't really say unless I'm actually seeing like what it is that you're marketing. Somebody said they get a lot of likes but no profit. And that's another thing, because for me to have 160,000 followers on there to have hair, like I don't get the most likes on my pictures, but I get orders. So a lot of times people be getting a lot of likes, but they don't make a lot of money. And sometimes people don't really get that many likes, but people are making money because they don't got time to like, because they just like, let me hurry up and get to the website. So that could be, that's why I'm telling you, like, be careful who you pay for marketing. So I would have to honestly, I would have to see what you're marketing and what you're posting to say how you should how you can transition that to profit, because it would just be hypothetically thinking, and I don't want to just tell you something and then you go try it and it still don't work. So I would have to actually see your Instagram and see what's going on and how you're marketing your product to tell you what's going on, because it could be a lot that's affecting it. And it could be your website too. So people like things that are easy. So they could be liking it, but if they go to your website and it's a disconnect and it's not easy for them to get what they got to get, they're going to give up. So you want to make things as easy as possible for people. Don't make it a struggle. If it's a struggle, they ain't got time. They out. Then the most time that a person should be able to spend on a website is like a minute or two. If they got to be spending more time than that, they're going to get frustrated and not do it anymore, especially with the society that we're dealing with now. Everything got to be like this. If you don't respond back, they get mad. If you don't do whatever, you know how y'all are. If somebody don't respond back to y'all, somebody don't text y'all back, somebody don't call back, somebody don't answer y'all email right away, y'all get real salty. So think of yourself as a customer. But yeah, I would have to actually see it to tell you what it is that you might can do to do better. So again, if you guys have any more questions, if you guys want to connect with me any further, definitely send me an email, and I will definitely answer emails today. I have blocked off this day, so whatever it might be, let me know, and I will get back to you right away. You can email me at thatdarrenchick@gmail.com. So it's thatdarrenchick, and then it's at gmail.com. So if you want to send me an email, I'll definitely get back to you guys today, whatever it is that you might want to ask me on a more personal level or whatever, because that's how y'all do too. Like I'll be like, ask me a question, and then y'all might not want to ask on Instagram, so then y'all like slide in my DMs or slide in my email. Well, go ahead and slide in and ask me whatever it is that y'all want to ask me. All right, but if anybody else don't have any more questions, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I helped you out some type of way. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing this again, but I'll think about it. Yeah, there are. Like, I have talked to like people who so I'm trying to tell you, y'all gotta stop looking at things. Y'all gotta stop looking at things like for face value. I remember my mom used to tell me that a lot when I was little. I don't know if your mom ever told y'all that. Stop looking at stuff for face value. Stop looking at certain Instagrams and certain people and wanting what they have, because what they have might not be much, or you don't know what it took for that person to get to that point, because everybody's struggle and, you know, hustle is different. Because I didn't just like wake up like and do whatever. Like I had to work myself. I had to work my butt off. Like I had failure after failure after failure. Like I don't even know how to sit here and to begin to tell you all the failure that I went to get to success. And I still wake up every day with something going on wrong. Like last month, my salon got flooded. The pipe busted in the business next door, and it flooded my whole salon, and I'm still in a legal action with them to fix it. So it's driving me crazy right now because I have really good furniture, really nice things in my salon, and my flooring is totally ruined. And every day I gotta walk in there, I have to see this ugly flooring, and it's bothering me like to death. But every day there's something, like it's not perfect. Like there's always something going on. I have to try to balance out, PTA and meetings, doctor's appointments, still with business, personal time, like stylists, customers, inventory. Like I can go on and on. Like it's not easy, but you just have to have the tenacity and the willpower to do it and to keep on doing it and get through it. Like it's definitely not easy, and you can't look at something like, oh, well, I gotta have likes and I gotta have followers, because when I first started, it wasn't the people that had all the followers that helped me get to where I was. It was the people that just liked what I was doing, and they kept referring me on to someone else. So if you, like I keep saying, like if your heart is good and you're doing things right and you're doing things about the right way, then things are going to work. That's a good question, Dominique. You know what? Y'all know why I'm in the business that I'm in? Because somebody put me in position. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, make sure that your heart is right and that you're doing what you're. That's why I work so hard. That's why I work so hard, because I started my company because somebody put me in a position, because they handled me wrong. When I first started my company, once I didn't do this because, remember, I'm not a people person. So I never was the type of person that went into businesses and like, hey, connect with me, partner with me, do whatever with me. I just kept doing my thing. So as I kept doing my thing, more people kind of wanted to be around me and want to work with me. Kind of like, who is this girl? Let me try to figure her out. So when that started happening, I did start dealing with other people, like that did hair and things like that. And at first it was just like one stylist, and then I told you I had bad relationships. It was just like one stylist, and then she stabbed me in the back. So I was just like, I was hurt, but I was like, whatever. So I kept going, like whatever, I kept going. So then other people came and wanted to work with me, and if those situations didn't work out, I was just like, whatever. Then it got to the point where I was in a situation one time where someone was like, because I always had a customer service line, and if someone called me and they were local and they wanted a referral on where to get their hair done, I would kind of let them talk. Again, you got to let people talk. I would let them talk, and based on the need that they had, I would refer them to whoever I thought was best. Or sometimes they would just ask like, hey, about this stylist? Is they good? And I never threw salt on people. So I would just be like, yeah, whatever. If they, if they really were good. So in doing that, like other people would get mad because they felt like I was obligated to just give them everybody that bought hair from me. But I wanted to be a fair person. Like if that person asks for Brian, I'm gonna give them Brian. If they ask for Sarah, then I'm gonna tell them what I have to say about Sarah. If they ask for Kelly, so on and so forth. So after a while, when I started getting so big, because when it first started out, certain people wouldn't deal with me because of me personally. Then as I grew, then people wanted to deal with me because everybody else was dealing with me. Then I got to a point where some people was like, nah, like in their heart, because God will let you see what people really think about you. And I know it's true. And people will be like, nah, she's doing too much. Like I ain't messing with her. Like they would throw hate. Like, how people are. And so when I started experiencing some of those things, they pushed me in a situation where I had to get my own salon. Not because I was trying to monopolize and take over the market. Again, it always was down to me. I needed whatever I needed for my business. So if somebody like, okay, which is really stupid, but people don't think like that. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all got to change the way y'all think, because you really do need to connect with people and have a relationship with people. Like in business, you can't have bad ties or do people dirty because you never know who you might need. So they kind of was trying to box me out. But in boxing me out, they made me open up my own salon. Why would you do that? So when I was put in those type of situations, I needed somewhere to sell my product because I was tired of driving all the way around and delivering it to people. It was just getting too much on me, and I didn't really have anywhere to go that I felt comfortable with. So I had to open up my own place. And when I opened up my own place, I had people that needed a job, so it kind of revolved into that I partner with. So I basically was put in that position, like everything. I'm always put in a position to do that, which I thank God for. Sometimes God got to push you out there when you don't really want to take that next step. So I opened up a salon because I was forced to. I needed somewhere to sell my product, and I wanted things to be more convenient for the people that were coming to get the product. And then I had people that needed somewhere to do hair. So it just kind of worked out. With Blac Chyna, I kind of like knew someone that knew her, and then we kind of linked up. And then with Kiera, like she kind of like reached out to me, and then we hit it off initially, like because I don't just work with anybody. She reached out, and then I started talking and stuff with her, and I had a good vibe from her, and I love her still to this day. So that's how those relationships end up reviving. Again, I'm not afraid to say no. There are certain people who have reached out to me, who people would love to work with, that I didn't work with. I didn't be disrespectful about it. But again, if it doesn't work out for you or your brand, you don't feel like you're pressured to do it because that person is bigger than you or whatever the situation may be. That's something else I had to learn. I'm not afraid to say no. So if it doesn't work out, you got to know when not to say no. But yeah, again, just send me an email, guys, if you have any more personal questions or anything that you want to know, and I'll definitely let you guys know. So I hope this was helpful in some type of way to you guys. And if I can help you any more, definitely email me at thatdarrenchick@gmail.com. So bye-bye.